Really a couple different games. The first half, things were going well, playing well, rebounding, not turning the ball over, and then there's some disappointment with the way we came out of the locker room in the second half and had 4 straight turnovers, and it just sucked the life out of the arena. We couldn't defend some of those turnovers. They got transition baskets, and really we had an opportunity maybe to, with that momentum, as is the case in basketball, to lose some of that momentum, and it's hard to recapture that. We did that 2 times. From there, we actually bounced back, and then we gave up another lead, and then we bounced back. And needless to say, I think Brandon hit some huge shots for us. But more than anything, I think our defense was the key. But what an environment for this building, and an opportunity for us to beat such a great team that we have yet to beat since I've been here, and to do it in this environment on ESPN was a pretty special afternoon. That's a big team. Arizona's got 3 7-foot guys and a lot of muscle. That's an NCAA big, strong team. And I thought we did a great job of getting him the ball, and he was efficient as he always is. And found they went to some double team ideas in the second half. We had a couple turnovers out of it where we probably should have had dunks. But for the most part, he's not just efficient and productive for us, but he does a nice job of moving the ball, and I think he's actually making the game a little easier for some other guys off of those double teams. I don't know that we beat a top 10 team. They were a top 10 team. It was a team that we'd never beat before, so I'd be lying if I said it wasn't pretty important. But as I addressed with the team afterwards, and it's been my favorite saying for those in the room that have been around the last 5 years, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. And I learned that lesson real well from my NBA days, and you're always playing a game, usually the next day or maybe a day off. And it's just about a consistency to keep getting better. And so I'm hesitant to say, man, this was as good as it gets, because we're only going to be as good as our next game. It's really one of the cooler things, and again, it's not over. The season's not over. I think Brandon understands that, but he's in the middle of a couple plays this season that might have finished somebody else off if you're not the kind of character and caliber of person that he is. From the free throws at Stanford and the foul at Oregon State. Those are a couple of games that really we had in hand. It's really hard, but we had some great meetings, and if there's one guy on our team that I wouldn't bet against bouncing back, it would be Brandon. And I told him that the Lord didn't put these mishaps in front of him thinking he couldn't handle it. And he's been tremendous. He hasn't given up. And I couldn't feel better for the guy. The fact that he's come back, and he didn't win the game for us. He didn't win the game for us the other night or in USC or UCLA, but he's sure been a big catalyst, and just true to his nature that he's never given up. It was hard to control the paint when we were turning the ball over, and then we gave up a handful of offensive rebounds during that stretch where the momentum, you were there, you felt it. It was like, man, and you know how it goes in basketball when that momentum kind of ends. And then we got some stops and made some plays. So I've thought, we had a couple guys that didn't play particularly well, but I think it's the essence of a team that you got enough guys that get it going, and that's basketball, and we'll be ready to go next time. And hopefully we have enough weapons that you can get, as I've said all year, if you can get, instead of maybe 2 guys playing well, if you can get 3 or 4 or sometimes 5, with our defensive focus, I think we've got a pretty high-powered offensive team. I thought it was a decent combination with Jakob. They had paid some extra attention to him. When we didn't turn it over, we got some open shots. I like it, open 3. I mean, they add up a lot faster than a 2. So we're going to keep trying to do the same thing. The building came alive, and we had some energy. Jakob got a lot of defensive rebounds. They miss shots. It's a combination of things. But those kills that we talked about, where you get 5 straight stops 2 different times going down the stretch, was big. It's probably a valid concern. It's gotten a little bit carried away, and we're not the ones having court stormed. As Sean Miller said, it happens to them a lot with their success. Teams get excited about it. His team, if our team was constantly in danger, I'd probably be raising the issue as well. So again, it hasn't happened to us a whole lot. Hopefully it won't.
It's crazy, and especially how the game went. It was such a tough game throughout 40 minutes. It was scrappy, it was physical, and we really did a good job of playing together, playing defense at the end. And I'm just really proud of us, of the team and how we played. Well, I try to be aggressive with it. I try to go at them right from the start. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little tired in the second half. But I just kept grinding, like kept going to the glass, like try to create my own shot, try to create shots for my teammates, and yeah, it's really just a fight. It boosts your confidence. I think it brings the team closer together because we experienced this win as a team. It was a team win through and through. I think we played great defense all together. We're connected and stuff like that. Just I know it gets you in a positive way.
It's big. It's big. It took me 4 years, but better late than never. And Arizona is one of those teams. I don't care who they have on their roster. It's a good win to get. It's a good win for our program. We've never beat them, and me personally never beaten them. And it's just it feels great. It feels great to win on our home floor. I just think at a point in the season, I was at a low point. I was at a very low point. Like my confidence was shot. I wasn't believing in myself, but I had to talk with Coach K, and it was actually right after the Oregon trip, and I had to talk with him and a couple other people like Coach Cullen and a couple close family members, and it was really just regain your confidence and go out there because this team needs you, and I really understood that, and I think that's what I've really took to heart is that my team needs me, and I've just gone up and tried to make the best plays possible. When he slipped and it was on the floor, and I was like, it's a clean shot, take it. I think I was most poised. I was poised in my mind, and I think the good players in those situations, that's where you get comfortable, and I think that's where I've gotten comfortable over these last games in those situations. Like you don't get rattled. I think the great teams in those situations, you get comfortable and you get things under control and you try to make the right play.